Hey everyone! Welcome back to Financial Futures, your go-to channel for the latest updates on Social Security and all things financial. I'm your host, and today we've got some crucial insights into the future of Social Security, straight from the recent GOP presidential debate. But before we dive into the details, make sure to hit that like button if you appreciate these Social Security updates, and don't forget to subscribe for more valuable content. Now, let's get into it. So, what's the buzz about Social Security in the GOP presidential debate? Well, take a look at these highlights. The big question of what's going to happen to Social Security took center stage, especially with candidates like Nikki Haley and Ron DeSantis sharing their views. Let's break down what they had to say.
Let's move on to Social Security. According to the Social Security Administration, Social Security will be unable to pay full benefits in a decade if no action is taken. Governor DeSantis, you have said that you're not going to, quote, mess with Social Security, unquote. Does that mean you have committed to never raising the retirement age and never cutting benefits?
So all seniors out there, promise has been made to you. You've paid into this. Every single paycheck that you've had your entire life, they've taken money out of, and that promise needs to be fulfilled. So that will happen when I'm president. Of course, I have a lot of seniors in Florida that depend on Social Security. I know many of them, and I think back to my own grandmother who lived till 91. Social Security was her sole source of income. So promise made, promise kept. You know, on the retirement age, it used to be people would say, well, life expectancy is going up. Shouldn't it mirror that? Well, the problem now in the last 5 years is life expectancy is going down. So I don't see how you can raise the retirement age when our life expectancy is collapsing in this country. That's a huge problem in and of itself. I'll work with both sides of the aisle. We'll work on something for the long-term strengthening, but I am not going to mess with seniors' benefits. In this high inflation environment, groceries are going through the roof, rent is going through the roof, all these staples, and you get a cost of living adjustment, but that's not enough to cover the costs that have been increased. So seniors are really strapped, particularly those that are on fixed income, and they have to know that we're going to deliver when it comes to their Social Security check. Now, we're going to get inflation down, we're going to get energy costs down, there's going to be a lot of things that are going to help seniors, but I think seniors should know promise made will be a promise kept.
So just a point of clarification, 15 seconds. Removing current seniors from the equation, you're not saying that you're committing to never raising the retirement age or cutting benefits.
I would never raise the retirement age in the face of declining life expectancy. I mean, I think that would be really bad. I mean, just think about it. That hurts blue-collar folks. You get taxed your entire life, life expectancy's down, you may not even be recouping very many benefits. And so life expectancy is declining. That's a big problem.
Governor Haley?
3 years in a row, he voted to raise life expectancy to 70 years old. 3 years in a row. Go to DeSantisLies.com and you'll see it. So now suddenly he's going to tell you because he's running for president he's not going to do it. You can't trust him. What I'll tell you is Social Security is going to go bankrupt in 10 years. Medicare is going to go bankrupt in 8. He talks about taking care of seniors. Right now, Florida is the inflation hotspot. It's the highest cost of living of any state in the country. Seniors are having to leave because they can't afford it. It's documented in DeSantisLies.com. What I'll tell you we have to do is we have to keep our promises to seniors, but we also can't put our head in the sand. For those like Ron saying they're not going to touch Social Security, that means they're going to leave after 4 or 8 years and leave it bankrupt? No. What we do is we go to those in their 20s and say we're going to change the retirement age to reflect life expectancy. Instead of cost of living increases, we do increases based on inflation. We limit benefits on the wealthy.
Thank you, Governor.
And we expand Medicare Advantage plans, which seniors love.
Thank you,
That's
Governor.
how we'll deal with making sure they have it.
Reducing the benefits, when you do the change in calculation, reducing the benefits. So let's just put this in perspective. Under her administration, you would have seniors getting less cost of living adjustments while your tax dollars are going to pay the pensions of Ukrainian bureaucrats.
That's not true.
You talk about
That's
putting
such a
Americans
lie,
last.
Ron.
That is wrong. You've supported all that money going over there. So let's put
You're
our
so
own people
desperate.
first. We
You're
have to
just
put
so
our people
desperate.
Governor
first.
Haley, let him
And
speak.
she also said, recently that the age of Social Security is way too low. And I criticized that, and then she was called on it, and then she said she never said it, of course, you're lying. And then sure enough, you put on the interview where she's there, spit an image, and she says it's way too low. So, we can play this song and dance. She has a record, she makes statements, and I think part of the problem with her candidacy is now that she's getting scrutiny, she's got this problem with ballistic podiatry, shooting herself in the foot every other day, saying things that now she doesn't even take questions from people.
Thank you, Governor DeSantis. Governor Haley, you want to raise the retirement age for younger Americans, but you have not said what that age should be. Should voters in their 20s plan on working until they're 70?
First of all, he hasn't answered the fact that he voted to raise the retirement age to 73 different times. He can call me whatever name and be demeaning as much as he wants. It doesn't change the fact that Ron's lying because Ron's losing. Everybody in the country sees it for what it is. So what I'll tell you is, yes, we're going to be responsible with it, and we're going to go to those in our 20s. When I said the retirement age was too low, again, where he's lying, it's because if you go, and you can go to DeSantisLies.com, I said it's too low if we're going to look at those in their 20s. We have to go and start looking at what we can do to get out of this. We want to make sure that everybody who was promised gets it, but we also want to make sure our kids have something when they get it too. So the way we do that is exactly how I laid it out. Then we'll know what we're looking at, and then we can start focusing. The other thing is we need to start cutting spending in D.C. We have to go back to pre-COVID levels. That's why I'll veto any spending bill that doesn't take us back to pre-COVID levels. That will save us trillions. We've got to go into every agency, replace the head of every agency, and send people into every agency. I did that as governor. Pull down old regs, pull down old programs, get rid of any problem children, and clean those agencies out and get them mission focused. There is a lot of waste in D.C. You need an accountant to go in there and clean it up, but we're not going to take away from anyone else, and he's yet to answer the fact that he voted 3 times to raise the retirement age.
Just a clarification, Governor Haley. In 15 seconds, should voters in their 20s plan on having to work until they're 70?
They should plan on their retirement age being increased, yes. We're going to change it to reflect more of what life expectancy should be.
Well, one of the things that I think we disagree on, too, is Governor Haley has said Social Security is an entitlement. But it's not an entitlement. You're paying into it. It's not a welfare program. You're being taxed for this your whole life. And so to expect to have benefits on the back end, I don't think that that's too much. The other thing I'd point out is Social Security for decades ran massive surpluses. What happened to those surpluses? The Congress spent the surpluses.
Yes, when you
They have a
the
big
debt.
problem with that. So number one, we need term limits for members of Congress. Number two, we need a balanced budget amendment to the U.S. Constitution. Number three, we need to give the president a line item veto. And number four, when you see all these congressmen making a killing in the stock market, like Nancy Pelosi, she could run a very lucrative hedge fund. We need a 28th Amendment to the Constitution that says very simply, Congress shall make no law respecting the citizens of the United States that does not also apply to members of Congress themselves.
Now, that was a snippet from the debate on CNN, where Social Security's future was a hot topic. Governor Ron DeSantis made it clear that he's committed to not messing with Social Security benefits for seniors. He emphasized the importance of keeping promises made to those who have contributed their hard-earned money throughout their working lives. On the other hand, Nikki Haley addressed the concerns about the sustainability of Social Security. She hinted at potential changes for younger Americans, including raising the retirement age. The debate also touched on issues like life expectancy, inflation, and the need for responsible handling of Social Security. Now, I'm curious to hear your thoughts. Do you agree with Ron DeSantis or Nikki Haley? How do their views align with yours when it comes to Social Security? Drop your comments below, and let's start a conversation. Now, let's jump right into our second topic, child tax credit. Welcome back to another riveting update on the child tax credit. Brace yourselves for thrilling news. You might be looking at a monthly payday for your little ones. We're breaking down the potential return of President Biden's expanded child tax credit, and it's not just a comeback, it's a potential game changer. Congress is in negotiations, and we've got the inside scoop on what this means for lower-income families. Now, let's talk numbers. As of now, the maximum tax credit per qualifying child is $2,000, but the aim is to bring back the glory days of 2021 when it was $300 or $250. Imagine an additional $3,600 annually. How would that impact your life? Share your thoughts in the comments. But what does all this mean for your taxes? If you're thinking of filing early, pump the brakes. Congress is working on a $100 billion bill that could offer tax breaks for businesses, potentially leading to a higher refund for you. Patience is key. To qualify for the child tax credit, your child must be a dependent with a valid Social Security number and be under 17 at the end of the year. The list of qualifying relationships is extensive, and the exciting part is they're considering allowing recipients to submit previous tax year returns for a larger credit. It's a win-win. Now get your calendars ready because the IRS kicks off the 2024 tax season on January 29. And hold on, Maine and Massachusetts residents, you get a couple of extra days. Plus, eligible taxpayers in select states can start filing their 2023 tax returns online this Friday. It's a pilot program, so check if your state is part of this early bird party. In today's main course, we're unraveling the mysteries of checking your Social Security benefits online. Whether you're already receiving them or just curious about the future, the information I'm about to share is a game changer. But first, let's address the elephant in the room: authenticity. With scammers lurking in every corner, your security is our top priority. Now, let's dive into the fascinating world of inflation. In this quirky game, the rules are set up to keep our wallets slim and trim. It's like a disappearing act for our $500 billion, vanishing away like a fog. But fear not, there's a law in place mandating the continuous payment of beneficiaries, ensuring your checks are secure. So sit back, relax, and let's unravel the plot. For our Michigan folks, here's a little treat: more than 700,000 families are in for a surprise with $150 rebate tax return checks. Big Gretch is making power moves with the $1 billion tax cuts signed into law in 2023. And if you're itching for some quick cash, consider tax refund advances. Just beware of the costs. And for those eager to stay informed on the latest checks and Social Security changes, click on the video right here for a comprehensive update. That's all the news I have for you today. I hope this brightened your day a bit. Take care, be safe, and thank you for watching Financial Futures. I'll see you in the next video.